everyone who is watching. Welcome to our podcast on some of the hottest topics in the history of theater, such as politics and class issues and racial issues and some different things about women. We are very excited to share all of this information with everyone who's watching today. And we're going to kick it off with Hannah and then end with a Jeopardy quiz at the end. So, Hannah, if you want to start, go right ahead.
Cool. Thanks, Grace. That was awesome. All right, cool. So I'm going to be talking about some of the more scandalous sexual things that happened on stage that kind of caused interesting things to happen. So we're going to start off at the beginning in vaudeville and chorus girls and all that kind of stuff. So this is when the American viewpoint of women began to shift, where we went from women are seen as these very pure, untouchable, modest, sort of gorgeous people. They still are, not saying that. But, we started to shift into this more promiscuous, sort of bold side. We see that a lot more in the 20s. And actually going into the 20s, after all that vaudeville stuff happened in the 20s, it was a time with lots of economic prosperity, the roaring 20s, we all know about that, where women began to stray away from societal norms. Actually, everyone began to do that, and they started to be a little bit more rambunctious and rebellious and stuff. And white women got the right to vote during this time as well. So there's more rights. There's also a lot more women in the workforce, which is why we're seeing more and more women out and about in history and stuff. And at this time, women were becoming, they were being influenced by their more masculine side. They were cutting their hair short, showing more skin. They were smoking cigarettes. They were dancing. They were being loud, pretty much going against everything that women were kind of portrayed as before. Which the term for them at the time was flappers and stuff. And that kind of translated onto stage, where women were wearing more suggestive clothing, and there were some cases too where they were being kind of catcalled on stage, which is interesting. But the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about was more of the behind the scenes stuff that happened off stage. There was a lot of sexual abuse and exploitation, specifically from male producers and agents, to all of these women and occasionally male performers. So the way that this kind of happened was these women were offered bigger roles and roles that would elevate and totally change their careers, and they would give them those roles if they were to do sexual favors for them. Messed up. But
jump in and say that's really insane. Yeah, that women's sexual liberation was shamed on, but the idea of producers basically, I don't want to say forcing, but seducing their employees and their actors and performers to do salacious things for opportunities, that's perfectly fine. But God forbid a girl wants some cleavage out, then that's a problem. That's just crazy.
No, for real. And the thing that kind of got me too about this is if a producer forced one of their female workers to do this thing, they would go around, they would kind of gloat about it to other people. But when it came to doing this to men, because this also happened to certain men and male performers, it was very hush-hush, don't talk about it, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
But was it kind of normalized at the time?
What do you mean?
Were people just kind of okay with it happening even if women tried to bring it up, or was there any, action to stop it?
So I'm happy that you asked that question. That was the next thing I was going to talk about. So women and men of the they felt that they couldn't speak up about it at all. And I'm sure at the time, also today, when these sort of things happen, people are afraid to speak up. But in this case, the women in question would have to go to like a higher up person to tell them, and that higher up person at this time was always a male. So they would have to go to another man and tell them what's happening, and they know that that's not going to be fixed because they're going to another man to try to get that fixed. And also, like, if they spoke up about it, like to anybody or the wrong people, they can completely lose all of their dreams and careers as well, which is also not good. But there were some performers that kind of used this to their advantage to get higher roles. They kind of saw it as a way to, like, quote unquote cheat the system, just like, oh, I just have to sleep with someone to get this role. That's like easy. And that kind of made the people that were exploiting these other performers, they kind of thought this was just like, oh, these people want to do this, so it's okay to do it to other people, which isn't right. But that's what they kind of thought, and it kind of made it okay in their minds in some weird way. But yeah, it wasn't good at all. And then also in the public eye, there was a line that was being blurred between just straight up prostitution and being a chorus girl, because the public knew about what was happening, but they thought that the performers were asking for this. So, like, they knew what was going on, but the way it was happening, they had the wrong idea about. And actually, in one of the articles I was reading for this, it said that a lot of people that like knew about this and were like blurring that line between the two always used that like stereotypical quote of like boys will be boys and like they should have known better, which is insane.
That is incredibly insane, especially when you're talking about like this person's my boss and I don't want to lose my job. Like,
I also feel like people still say that today, which is also wrong.
For sure,
But,
like,
100% do.
Unfortunately, it's not an unfamiliar circumstances that actors and actresses and performers find themselves in, and it's just like things have gotten better because we've had movements like Me Too happen, but like the fact that there was no one to advocate for these performers in this moment in time is just so like disheartening.
Yeah, and then last thing that I want to talk about are some of the musicals that kind of like got shut down for these sort of obscenities, quote unquote. So one person that kept coming up when I was doing my research before was Mae West, and I finally like sat down and I looked her up. Her full name is Mary Jane West. She's from Brooklyn, and she started on vaudeville by the age of 5, and she was a star pretty much by the age of 14. So she's been in the showbiz since she was a child. And then in 1926, she wrote, co-produced, and starred in her own musical, literally called Sex, which, you know, pretty on the nose with that one. And then the year after that, she wrote a musical called The Drag, which addressed more gender identity kind of situations and a little bit of homosexuality. And on the premiere of The Drag, the police came and called for the arrest of both full cast and crews for both of these shows, and it landed West in jail for 10 days with a $500 fine.
10 days is ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
That's like nothing. No offense, May, but yeah, so she was like a very prominent person and kind of leading this sort of sexual revolution on Broadway. And she actually, in some of the films that she did, it kind of led to the motion picture production code being established, which kind of is like a mini censorship, or like the start of censorship in film, which is also kind of crazy. But one musical that we have talked about in class that I really did want to mention to you guys was Hair, written I think it was either written or debuted in 1969. I should know that, but I don't. And in the original production, there was full front-facing nudity in the original. And I'm not sure if this is the first one of its kind to do this, but it was definitely a shock to a lot of people. The year after, in 1970, There was a censorship dispute with this musical that went to the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts. The court won this case, and they said that actors must be clothed and there should be no simulations or innuendos of sex. And the producers fought this, saying it was a First Amendment violation, and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And in the end, they won the overall case, which is insane. But yeah, those are like the big things that I wanted to talk about when it comes to sort of sexuality and the American sexual awakening on Broadway.
It's really interesting. Some of the things you talked about. I just can't like the amount of censorship when it comes to like policing what people do with their bodies. Oh, how we've come full circle, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah. Alrighty, does anyone have any other questions or comments for Hannah?
No.
Alrighty, who's up next?
Me.
Yay! What was your topic?
So I did kind of a deeper dive into like Black American musical theater and kind of like what happened once minstrel shows became no more, and kind of like what the journey to like the Black resurgence in the arts kind of look like. So just a quick overview on that. So obviously in the beginning, like musical theater was heavily influenced by minstrel shows, and like for a quick reminder, that's when white performers would use blackface to mock and create characters, I can't say that word, of Black people. Even when Black people like joined these shows later on, they were still forced to wear blackface and portray like some pretty demeaning stereotypes just to like secure a job for themselves. And this also went for technicians that were working behind the scenes as well. Like they had to assimilate just to put food on the table, and they were forced to be in productions that contained racially offensive stereotypes, stereotypical characters, songs, dialogue, and it was just a really unfortunate situation for Black performers to be in.
So at this time, sorry to interrupt you. At this time, they were hiring in like Black crew.
I don't believe it was as prevalent. Like I think it was pretty rare to see like a Black lighting designer at this point in time.
Okay.
But the technicians that did exist, I'm assuming this is maybe a little bit more into like the 40s and 50s when we're starting to see this kind of thing. I don't think this is happening in the 20s and 30s.
Right.
Mind you, this is like variety show vaudeville days. So probably weren't a lot of Black or technicians of color. But the ones that were there still had to put up with a lot of racial nonsense that just doesn't make any sense. But the two actors that kind of I don't know if I would say like made the best out of the situation were Bert A. Williams, which I know we've talked about in class, and George W. Walker. They were a popular duo that had to perform in blackface, even though they were Black actors. And a lot of the characters that they portrayed were dumb men who were always down on their luck, or were con artists. Really just things that have like a not so good connotation. And even though Williams was the first Black man to be cast in a Ziegfeld production, he was still subject to a lot of racism per his co-stars, or castmates, I should say. And he said this quote that I just thought was like really interesting. He said, "I have never been able to discover that there was anything disgraceful in being a colored man, but I have often found it inconvenient in America." Which I feel like is just a testament to how a lot of Black performers probably felt at this time. But there were other groups that were met with this treatment as well. I mean, American Indians, the Greeks, Italians, the Polish, Jewish, Irish, Hispanic, Arabian, and especially Asian immigrants. Like there was the huge issue with like yellowface and productions hiring white actors to dress in yellowface instead of just hiring Asian actors. And just again doing very racially charged, very offensive things. White actors like Fanny Brice, who I know we've talked about, and Vanishnik, they sang like really offensive, racially charged songs and used stereotypical facial expressions and makeup. Like So even like the super popular ones that like they did great work and they have great contributions to American musical theater. Like on the backside, they were active participants in the negation of Black performers on Broadway. So it's like, oh, like
That's
it's
so interesting. I have no idea.
and like if you think about it, like Fanny Brice, that's someone that we heavily talked about in this class, and like low key, she was doing some not so great things.
That's wild.
So like the desire to assimilate and hide personal and cultural heritage due to the need for success were faced by actors of all of these ethnicities. So fast forward to like after the First World War, we have Rodgers and Hammerstein. They obviously come over and they dominate Broadway from 1943 to 1959. And a lot of their shows focused on eradicating racial, ethnic, and cultural prejudice, and promoting a tolerance, which I don't like that word because it kind of just feels like you're being forced to, but promoting tolerance and acceptance of difference. So you can see this in Oklahoma, South Pacific, The King and I, The Showboat, West Side Story. These are all stories that kind of deal with racial tension in some way, shape, or form, or cultural differences in general. But there were also, around this time, there were also playwrights like Lorraine Hansberry, who wrote A Raisin in the Sun that came out in 1959, and August Wilson, who was a prolific playwright. They began using drama to critique racial and gender inequality and pave the way for more profound narratives. So by the time we get to the 70s, there's an emergence of several shows where the creative staff and the cast are all predominantly African American or Black. So this kind of put the Black experience in the front and center for the first time. So you actually have a resurgence, and then you also have to think about the Harlem Renaissance, which is kind of happening at the same time, more so fading out at this point. So you just have a resurgence of Black performers and artists telling their stories, and I can just imagine how liberating that must have felt for them, because we have shows like Ain't Supposed to Die a Natural Death, Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope, Pearly, Raisin, A Raisin in the Sun, which I already mentioned. And then we also have shows like The Wiz, Jelly / Jam, Miss Saigon, which we've talked about in class. We have Evita, and then fast forward to the brilliance of Lin-Manuel Miranda, we have In the Heights, Hamilton, and so on and so forth. So from the 70s on through now, we just kind of see the development of people of color telling their stories and the stories of their experience here in America. And we kind of see socially, because of things like the Civil Rights Act of 1964, there was a push for a more integrated theater, and integrated spaces in theater and film, which allowed for the production of more musicals that depicted like real characters of color, and more minority people and performers were finally able to be cast, and that was putting food on the table for Black performers. But the 70s is really what kicked it off, and then it kind of just kept climbing from there. A lot of these shows achieved a measure of commercial and critical success, but the show's writers were a mix of whites and Blacks, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had. I just wanted to do a little bit more of a deeper dive because I feel like the rise of Black American theater and just including actors and performers and artists of color in general is kind of always, I feel like we always highlight the white performers of these times, but I just wanted to take a moment and highlight the people of color who made serious contribution to the industry as we know it today. Because I mean, we can talk about the incorporation of jazz music with cabaret and things like that. So I just wanted to acknowledge my people's contribution.
Yeah, totally. It's super interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that this is what you chose amongst like all of our other topics and stuff. Because I feel like even when we were like in public schools and stuff or whatever, like high school, I feel like in history classes, a lot of the people of color who made crazy contributions to history have been neglected and are continuing to be neglected. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like Martin Luther King, like was another, like of course, huge activist, hello, civil rights leader, hello. He also like made a huge effort to talk about the arts because the arts are important, and I feel like oftentimes, especially right now with everything that's happening politically, that the arts are kind of under attack. I believe that the arts is the voice of the people, and who better to tell the stories of the people than the people themselves?
Truth right there.
I agree for sure.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Yes, very, very good. Does anyone have anything else they want to mention?
I just think that it's insane that Black performers had to perform in blackface still. That's all I got.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I remember in the reading, it was like it said something about like the reason why they forced Black performers to wear blackface is like they didn't want the audience to see their skin or something. I just thought that like it just doesn't make any sense. Like the racism has no logic, guys.
What are we doing?
Like, what's happening here?
Mm-hmm. All right. If no one has anything else to say, the next person on our list is Layeth. So Layeth, what was your topic?
So I would like to talk about class division and its representation in American musical theater on stage. But before I talk about what was happening on stage, I want to talk about some stuff that was brewing off stage, specifically in the 1930s. So in the 30s, we saw the formation of the workers' theater movement and the rise of productions depicting relatable working class characters and relatable situations. But prior to the 1930s, the original goal of this movement was to bring high culture to the working class because theater in this time was seen as, you know, stuff for the higher class. We see all these productions about, you know, indulgence and life in the city, but it doesn't really speak to the whole population. And it eventually evolved into original productions being put out by members of the workers' theater, specifically relating to the effects of the Great Depression. And through the period of 1930s to the 1940s, we actually saw a great expansion, and it grew up to 400 theater groups nationwide. And it also coined its own style of theater, which is called agitprop, which stands for agitation and propaganda. And it's meant to drive radical political messages, and very openly at that, with just the goal of activating workers and prompting them for protest. So this movement marks a huge change in stuff we saw on stage, more politically driven and, you know, concerns social issues.
Kind of awesome looking.
Oh, yeah. So with that, I want to talk about two productions, and the first one will be Urinetown, which you may be familiar with. So this came out in, I believe, 2001, and it was kind of risque at the time because of how close it was released after 9/11. So it was kind of edited before it premiered. But this production takes a stance on capitalism and states that capitalist CEOs often take advantage of disasters by finding numerous ways to profit off of them.
That's some crazy timing.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Brief plot synopsis is Urinetown basically takes place in a city that is going through a 20-year-long drought, and the CEO of the water distributor Urine Good Company has a deal with the state senator to charge citizens a fee to use public restrooms. And you can probably see some similarities to private sectors in our real world, you know, people who hold monopolies over gas or water, or even, you know, housing. It's kind of making a commentary on that. Because even in our own world, everything down to water is monopolized. But in Urinetown, the working class masses is described as impoverished, uneducated, but they contradict their low status by rebelling against the CEO of Urine Good Company, and they eventually established pay-to-pee restrooms. So this musical just goes to show, like, it's supposed to give hope to the lower class, because the rebellion is ultimately led by Bobby Strong, who serves as an everyman. Yeah, and then similarly, the other production I want to talk about is Rent, which came out a little bit before Urinetown. I believe it was 1996.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting because in Rent, there's not a clear antagonist like there is in Urinetown. it's more, even though there's this character of Benny who threatens eviction,
Mhm.
there's not a clear antagonist. It's mainly like systemic forces.
I want to say I feel like the antagonist in Rent is the system. They're
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
they're fighting.
And the only reason they're even under oppression by the system is because of their social status. You know, they're
Yeah.
gay, they're poor, they're this and that. But even in this production, there's characters like Mimi who urge the others to live every day like it's their last, and
Mhm.
you know, just being the symbol of hope in the face of adversity. Yeah, and it just makes a lot of connections to our real world. You know, we have unaffordable rent at an all-time high right now, unaffordable medication, you know, drug addiction, and it's a symbol of hope, and to show that even though this is kind of heightened drama, it's pretty much like what we live.
I was just gonna say, like, it's unfortunate how like relatable it all still is. And, like,
Exactly.
in the most
Yeah,
realistic way possible, we've kind of gone full circle with some of these issues.
Right. This was almost 30, 40 years ago, and it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's so familiar.
Still packs a punch to this day.
Very dystopic.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are there any like concrete changes that have like happened in real life once these like different events were happening, or did nothing change that much?
You mean like workers' theater movement?
Yeah.
That was a little more. It's like a different style than the commercial musical, because it kind of borrows ideas from communism, and it you know, rejects icons and you know, the system. So they were really independent productions, and they didn't see, you know, super big commercial success, but they definitely changed the idea of what we can do on stage and the type of ideas we can express.
Okay, gotcha.
I have a thought, but I don't know how to like put it into words. I don't know if I should like try to say it, but I feel like there's some productions like this, where like they just seem so out there and it just seems so dystopian, and you'll like watch and you'll be like, this is crazy. But then either people will like not realize that that's what's happening around us like right now, or they'll just like, for lack of a better term, like wake up and be like, oh my God, this is my life.
Yeah.
You know, like it's insane.
It kind of reminds me of the movie Truman Show.
Mhm.
I
It's
love
such
that
a
movie.
wild concept, but if you like try and like understand what the message is, trying to relate it to what we see, like,
It's literally happening right now.
yeah, we're being monitored 24/7 through every
Yeah.
nook and cranny.
I think that people just like being blissfully like they just like not knowing. Like
For sure.
everyone knows like what's happening, but I feel like there's just a certain group of people that they just decide that they're not going to pay attention to that, and that they would rather just take the red pill and go back to sleep with this family.
It's very comfortable, yeah.
Right. Or like it is in like the form of entertainment. So they're like, oh, this is entertainment. There's no way this could possibly be
Yeah, definitely. Because it's heightened drama, they're like, could never happen in real life. There would never be robots talking to us. What are you talking about?
This is like a little
Yeah,
bit
that's
off
true.
topic. This is like a little bit off topic, but like I saw Oakland's production of Mr. Burns, like when they had it up, and
Yeah.
I had like one of those moments with the beginning of it, like in it, the grid pretty much blows up, and I was like, that could happen.
Like,
We
really,
could, this
really
could happen.
that show was cool.
It
Shout
was
out.
really good.
Shout out to SMTV.
Yes, love you, SMTV.
But do we have any more questions?
I think I'm good.
No.
I'm good. Thanks, Liz.
Cool.
No, that was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it was good.
Jolly.
All right, and our last person is Lawrence.
I'm going to be talking about theater and can it actually create a social change by shaping the audiences, what they learn, how they feel, what they might do after they leave the theater. It's not just about everything on stage, it's about what sticks with people once the curtains come down.
Absolutely.
So, I guess the key question here is whether political theater really changes opinions or just entertain people who already agree. There was a study done on the Exonerated, which tells stories of people wrongfully sent to death row, which had the audiences fill out surveys before and after the performance. About 94% said they learned something new about death penalty or wrongful convictions and felt more emotionally engaged with criminal justice issues than they would from reading statistics. I'm not sure if you guys know about 12 Angry Men, but it's the most similar to this show, and when I watched it, I would agree with this survey. It really did change my idea and shape of how the justice system worked, how it works now, how sometimes there are just some scapegoats that you point at and you just want to stick with them being sentenced even though maybe they weren't the ones who committed the crime or did the wrongdoing. At the same time, political theater is often criticized for preaching to the choir because audiences usually already lean towards the show's stance. But there is research that suggests that it can still matter. It can deepen understanding for sympathetic audiences, give them new language and examples to use in everyday conversations, make them feel less alone and more motivated to act, especially in tense social or political moments. So even if people don't flip sides, their commitment and clarity can grow. Some shows also push audiences to confront their own apathy and complicity. Cabaret is a strong example of this. The fun, escapist world of the Kit Kat Club sits right next to the rising threat of Nazism, letting viewers feel how easy it is to stay out of politics while harmful ideas become normal. Commentary on recent productions described some audience members feeling sick during anti Semitic imagery, while others still laughed or stayed detached, and it argues that cabaret only really works politically when people recognize their own potential for apathy. And that way it becomes a mirror for current behavior, not just a history lesson. Not all of this theater is passive. In theater of the oppressed, especially foreign theater, audience members are invited on stage to step into the scenes of the oppression and try out different responses. Participants often report feeling more aware of power structures, more confident speaking up in real life. Legislative theater goes further by using performances about local issues like housing or policing to lead straight into group decisions, and in some projects, ideas from those decisions have become proposals for city councils or community organizations. Plays based on real events add another layer. Documentary and verbatim theater use interviews, court transcripts, and official records. Research on these plays argue that they increase audience knowledge about specific cases and encourage people to question their fair, legal, and political systems really are. Shows like the Laramie Project often spark talkbacks, classroom discussions, and community programs, so the performance becomes a starting point for ongoing conversations about prejudice, violence, and justice. A lot of the strongest impacts seem to be local, community-based. Projects invite residents to share their own stories about neighborhood violence, discrimination, or public services, and then build performances about those experiences. When audience see familiar places and people on stage, the issue feels more urgent and harder to ignore, and follow-up discussion, workshops, and casual conversations can open up these topics that used to be taboo and lay the groundwork for future organizations. There definitely is impact because with the recent It TV show, Welcome to Derry, I'm not sure if you guys have watched that either yet, but
I've seen stuff about that.
one of the
What show
opening
was it?
Welcome to Derry.
I've not
It
seen that.
just came out on HBO.
Yeah, it's horror. I don't know if you guys are into horror at all, but I really like that type of stuff.
Check it out. That sounds awesome.
But it used the Music Man and You Got Trouble in a creepy opening, which doesn't totally change the meaning of the musical, but it shows how these older shows keep getting reused when stories want to talk about trouble and tension in a community. So, taken together, the research suggests that political theater doesn't magically fix the world, but it does change what audiences know, how they feel, and how ready they are to speak up, especially in their own communities. The impact can look like learning new information, finding the words to talk about hard topics, seeing your own apathy reflecting back at you, or even turning a performance into concrete ideas for change.
Nice.
Nice.
I'm just curious, do you have an example of a musical that like brought people up on the stage? Like, I believe that there are some, but I'm just curious if you have any examples.
I don't have or remember the example on the top of my head, but I could
That's
do a quick little search for you if you like.
I do think that the idea of like the surveys is really, really interesting. But like I'm curious to know, like, do you guys think that political theater has the chance to like impact how people really think? Because I personally think that it absolutely does. Like
Yeah.
even though there are shows where like they have a built-in audience who's probably going to agree with some of the messaging, I think there's always room for one person who doesn't think that way to see something new. But I also have to think about like where some of these shows are being produced. This is actually something that we talk about in my dramaturgy class, where it's like the demographic in which a show is produced in front of changes the reception of it dramatically. You kind of have to like counter that. So like for the example of the survey you had, Lawrence, like where was that done? Like, do you know what state?
That survey was done in somewhere.
In somewhere. I love going to that place.
That's pretty good.
Let me pull up the survey right now. I don't have that written down.
I was gonna say, I feel like sometimes people aren't open to having new opinions unless they see a show.
That's
Because
true.
Shows can be really like rewarding and interesting and can leave a positive impact. So if someone associates change that they want to make with a positive experience, I feel like it's much more likely that they'll carry it out.
Yeah, like it frames it in a fun way.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that like the people are easily influenced when they see other people like something. So if everyone's watching this show and a lot of people are like, I agree with what they were talking about and then people, just because of how easily influenced they are, like will kind of almost like hop on the bandwagon, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's like 100% true for especially like younger people, because
sure.
I know like I had a big like theater phase when I was in middle school, and like
Oh yeah, me too.
oh yeah, we've all kind of been there. I feel like you have to have at least a little bit of one, and it's just like
You guys
it's embarrassing, but like it has to happen. It's a canon event, but like I. This is like a really good example because like I used to hate musical theater. No offense, y'all, but like I used to like be like.
That's
this
okay.
is
That's usually
dumb.
how it starts.
No, but I was just like, this is really dumb, and like you guys are like way over the top, and I hate it here. And then like I actually like sat down and watched my first like action musical, and I was like, okay, wait, this isn't like as bad as I thought. And like that's not something politically, but it is. It just kind of shows that people they do have the room to change.
Yeah.
And their opinions can change, especially when you're younger and you're influential, like I was when that happened. Like it's so human perception is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What an interesting topic, Lawrence. Thanks.
Yeah, to answer both of those questions, the survey was done in South Carolina, the University of South Carolina. And going back to that immersive theater, there are actually now, it's pretty recent, there's immersive theaters for Cabaret in the Playhouse Theater. And it started in 2020, and it's going onwards, where the actors kind of walk into the crowd to make the people kind of feel like they're a part of the story that's going on.
That's kind of awesome, honestly.
It's awesome. I really like immersive theater. It's really interesting. I would hate to be in the audience of one, but the idea
I'm like thinking about that like for Cabaret or something, when like something kind of bad happens and they're just like walking around. I'm like, dude, I can't.
I know. I agree.
Rent would also be a cool immersive show.
Oh yeah.
That is true. I already can't pay my rent, so I'm already there, dude.
Yeah, so we got it.
I don't need no immersive theater for that one.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, that was a great topic. I feel like it kind of brought everything together in a way too.
I agree.
Kind of saying like everything that we just talked about can like actually have a purpose, which I think is good. So, does anyone have anything else they want to mention?
No.
I do not.
I think everybody had
Yeah.
good topics and research and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Well, if no one has anything else to say, I made a little Jeopardy game for us all to play. Since
Ooh.
yes, we can get started on that. And also, it was the first one I ever made, so this should be
Oh,
fun.
congrats.
Oh,
Thanks.
first step.
I'm pretty sure it's the first one I made. Okay, can everyone see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna start, and I don't know what this is. Okay, so I don't really have a prize, but we'll still play. You know, winner gets bragging rights. Yeah.
No, literally.
Okay, so do you guys want to just take turns and pick any box and just go like that?
Yeah,
We can
we should
maybe go
establish in order. Like, who should go first?
Yeah, I was gonna say we can maybe go in the order that we all presented everything.
Oh, perfect. That works.
That works.
All right, so Hannah, you want to start?
Pick it up,
Yeah.
Hannah.
If I get this wrong, I'm gonna be really upset. Can I do a politics for 200?
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, what is the name of the play that emphasized how staying out of politics can cause fascism to grow?
Oh, bro, we just talked about this.
Hmm.
Was it Cabaret?
Let's see. Yay!
Oh.
I'm the best.
Okay.
That would-
Escape. Okay. All right, lay it.
I'm gonna do Women and Racism for 200, please.
Okay. A musical that confronted themes of interracial marriage.
What is West Side Story?
Ooh.
Close.
Snap.
So about no point for you. I wish I had a sad sound effect. Just kidding.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, no. Look what you did, bro.
Alrighty, who's next?
I can go. Let's do class for 200. I'll follow the theme.
Alright, who is the main lower class character in the musical Carousel?
What? I'm not even gonna pretend like I know the answer to that. I have no idea.
That's okay. Do you want me to show it?
Please, who is it? I'll take my no point.
Billy.
I would have
Even is Billy, bro.
That's okay because I forgot to touch on Carousel.
Oh, okay. I was like, you
Some
talk
of the some of the stuff I just pulled from the notes, so if you guys didn't talk about it, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, no point for me.
Oh, that's okay. Alrighty. Up next.
It is only right that I do true or false 200.
Yes.
Nice.
Is this Lawrence right now?
Yes.
Okay, Lawrence. Okay. So team 4. Okay. Performance about local issues can lead to concrete changes in policy. Is this true or false?
That's true.
Yay.
Oh,
It's really his topic. It's cheating.
Don't do team
Girl
4.
topic.
Kidding, bro.
Okay.
My
Um,
turn.
yeah.
Huh. Let's do Clash 300.
Okay. Kicking it at the 300, are we?
Mm-mm.
Which epidemic is analyzed in the musical Rent?
Poverty. I don't know. What is poverty, bro?
HIV
What?
slash AIDS.
I was gonna say AIDS. It's HIV.
Dang, I've never
Yeah,
seen this.
okay.
I personally should get that point.
Yeah, next time.
I give up my points to Jay.
Thank you.
All right, Jay, you want to go?
Yeah. I'm gonna do women and racism 300, please.
Okay. During this era, the 19th Amendment was passed and women were given the right to vote.
During this era of what? The era of
It'll make sense once you see it.
wait, let me think. Hold on. Play the Jeopardy music. Let me think.
Oh, wait, I can play it, but would that be copyright?
Probably.
Insert Jeopardy music.
Grab my clarinet.
was passed during this era. Era of what?
Like,
Do you want me to
time.
show it? It's like the title of an era.
It's a title of an era,
Yeah.
like a historical era.
Yeah.
Oh, is it suffrage, women's suffrage?
No.
Dang.
Roaring
Oh,
20.
what? I feel like I deserve half points for that. 'Cause
That's crazy, bro.
I would
I
if I
don't know,
could.
boring 20s.
Alrighty. So it looks like we have Leith.
Ooh, I'm gonna do true or false 300.
Okay. The working classes in Urinetown are rich and educated.
False.
I feel like
Yes. So
personally,
wait,
I
that's
think
team. Is that team 3?
Team 2.
Team 2.
I
Okay.
think.
Yeah.
Wasn't J team 2?
No,
Yeah,
we did it backwards.
Okay. So all right, I'll give you team 2.
Wraith is team 2, Jay is team 3.
Okay.
I'm the only
Alright.
person on the board with no points.
Your time
It's
will come.
okay. We still have a long way to go. Okay.
Everyone's game.
Alrighty, Lawrence.
I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and go class 500.
Whoa, breaking the order.
How
Yeah.
could you?
I didn't really base the questions off of the difficulty with points, but they're all equally difficult. Anyways,
Oh.
this rebellion was led by Bobby Strong and served to give hope that anyone can make a difference.
Honestly, isn't it like against Urinetown? I don't know what exactly.
What
Oh,
is?
Yo!
Oh,
I mean,
lucky
No,
again.
I guess I can count that.
No, that he did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was team 3, right, Lawrence?
He's team
4.
Team 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Not Lawrence.
He's like winning so bad.
This is crazy.
Alrighty, Hannah.
I need my points. True or false 500.
Yeah. American Indians, Greek, Italian, Polish, Jew, Irish, Hispanic, Arabian, and Asian immigrants encountered similar treatment as the blacks.
This is so true. Yes.
You are correct.
You're welcome, Hannah. I gave you that.
Because I'm Italian.
Okay, Leith, right?
No,
Yes.
me. Or is it late?
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
Leith is team 2.
Oh,
Didn't we
okay,
switch? Wasn't Leith technically team 2? Because
Yeah.
yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, my bad. Go.
that's
I'm
okay.
gonna go
Right.
with politics 400.
Mm.
Okay. so-
What two components are key in order for theater to affect social change? This might be too difficult. This might actually be worth 400.
Are key in order for theater.
I don't know. Good performance and emotion.
I think I might have gotten one of them.
Oh,
Emotion
bro.
and
Pretty
empathy.
good.
I wish I could give you half, but I don't know how.
I wouldn't count it.
No, yeah.
On the real
Alrighty.
Jeopardy, they'd kick me out.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, now I think it's Jay, right?
yeah. I guess I better go with these true or false questions for 400 plus.
Yeah, true or false the way to go. All right, women who showed a promiscuous side were frowned upon.
I fear that's true.
The eye fear is crazy.
Ew.
Yeah.
Hey, you got 400.
some points on the board. That's what I'm
Yes,
talking about.
yes.
Yes. Okay, Lawrence.
politics 500.
He's taking all the 500s, bro.
Yeah.
Cabaret exhibited the rising threat of which group?
Like Nazis.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Nazis.
So yeah. So yeah.
I'm so
Nazis.
scared.
Yeah. So yeah. Team 4. Whoa, 1200.
What? 12.
All right, Hannah.
Can I pick one that's my own topic?
I mean, sure.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe
It'd be funny if you got it wrong though.
politics 300.
A play that prompts post-show talkbacks and school discussions.
I know this one.
I forgot the name. Oh man, dude.
Just play it in the background.
Should.
You want me to give it to you?
Yeah.
What is the lyrical?
Oh, I
Oh,
love
I thought it was asking for the name of everything. Never mind.
Oh, sorry, that might have been my bad. Okay.
No, I'm just dumb.
No. Alrighty. Lay.
I'm gonna play it safe. Give me true or false for 100, please.
Oh, you took mine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this one is pretty easy. Social changes during the Roaring Twenties mostly affected men.
I'm gonna go ahead and say false.
Yeah,
Man, whatever.
that is correct. Alrighty, Jay.
I'm gonna be ambiguous, and I'm unambiguous. That's not the word I wanted to use. Anyway, give me Women in Racism 500, please.
You're being
Ooh,
brave.
going with the 500. A popular duo that had to perform in blackface even though they were black actors. You should know this, right?
Burt Williams and George Walker.
Yeah.
Ah! Thank you. I needed that. Needed that boost.
All right, Lawrence.
Same woman racism 400.
Okay. During the Roaring Twenties, this term was used to describe women who were bold, rebellious, and almost masculine in a way.
Tomboys.
Close.
Slappers.
Flappers.
Flappers.
Huge.
I think I also should get that point, but you know, it's cool.
Alright, Hannah.
Class 400.
No.
Where does musical Rent take place?
Oh, where's with all the rent questions? I've never seen it, bro. I don't know. In an apartment complex?
Oh, it's Alphabet City, aka New York.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, Jay. I'd give you that one, but
It's okay.
alrighty, Leia.
I'm gonna do class 100.
Okay.
Of course you are, Lee.
This movement was later termed agate prop style. Hope I said that right.
Oh, the workers' theater movement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever.
Okay, now Jay.
I'll take Women in Racism 100, please.
A form of entertainment that showed off a different side of women and was hidden from the public.
What?
Yeah, I don't even know this one.
In the
I don't know
public?
if I like worded this the wrong way. It might make sense once you see it.
Oh, no, I know this. Never mind.
A form of entertainment that showed a different side of women and was hidden from the public.
It was like the type of show. Like the name for the show.
Am I crazy to say cabaret?
Yeah.
Oh. That's embarrassing.
Okay, that was my
Oh.
bad. Alrighty.
Good. I like that.
Alright,
question.
who is the last person?
Does anybody else want the point?
No, Lawrence.
you deserve
take it.
I'll take
Oh, Lawrence, you
politics
Full
100.
agreed.
Either way, I think you win.
I don't
But
know.
what's the question?
Let's see. What is the name of the play that gave insight into the death penalty and forced audience members to deal with immoral convictions?
Oh.
That is mine again. The exonerated.
Yes.
Wow.
I would like to formally say that Lawrence cheated.
Well, yeah.
Not getting all of his own questions.
But I will take second place.
I'll
Yes.
gladly take first.
Whatever.
Congrats. Alrighty.
Hooray.
So is that wait, hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen before I stop sharing. Okay. Alrighty. So I guess that's it. Does anyone else have any last minute things that they wanted to mention?
Yeah. This was fun though.
Yeah, it was nice to work with y'all.
And
It was very fun.
this was very
Yes,
fun.
it was.
Alrighty, well I guess that's it. Thank you to everyone who joined, and that will conclude our screen sharing and podcast for the day.
Yay! Thanks.